Guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I like to collect different houseplants and style with them around the home, care for them and propagate them, and then share that experience with you here on YouTube. So if you're into that kind of videos, please do consider subscribing to my channel and send this video a like. In today's video, I'm going to show you an update on this plant wall that I did before in a video that I titled Landscaping with Tropical Houseplants. I'm going to link that video right now in case you haven't seen that. But yeah, so this is an update. I'm going to show you some of the plants that are here now that are thriving. Some of the plants have actually moved away because they didn't really like it here. And I'll walk you through some species, so maybe you'll discover something cool here. And where possible, I'll also share some care tips and propagation tips along the way. So grab a cup of tea and come along. I'm going to start this video by introducing old footage of what this area looked like before, so you guys can refresh your memories. And I'm going to start the tour right over here with this Dieffenbachia. It's doing okay here. As you can see, it's growing like crazy. However, I have a piece of sad news. It's actually starting to rot over here. This happens to a few of my Dieffenbachias. They really hate overwatering. So yeah, it's getting eaten up from inside out. And of course, you guys are probably clicking away from this video because you guys are not interested in seeing dead plants. But kidding. Bear with me. So what I can do here is actually, as you can see here, these are actually aerial roots that are already formed. So what I'm going to do at some point when this has gotten out of control is to just cut this plant off. As you can see, this is a new growing eye. I can actually cut it right above here and then just root this straight into potting mix. I've done this before and it works beautifully. So yeah, that's going to happen, and then this may give me a new plant even. And behind here we have a Rhaphidophora pertusa, and it's actually a propagate. The parent plant is over there, that tall one over there. It's not focusing. Okay, so yeah, and then here I'm not sure what plant this is, but yeah, it's just something that I'm propagating. If you guys know what this is, let me know. I have a few of these around the house. They were free plants. There's some Scindapsus here that's crawling around. Here's a Begonia Manaus, if I'm not wrong, I can't remember the name. But this is very prone to rot, so I have to be very careful about watering this one, but it's pretty, and I gave it a trellis so they can climb up. A Calathea white plate. Here's a Philodendron Microstictum, and it's climbing up the moss pole, and I'm letting it climb up the wall here, so it's eventually, hopefully, going to take over and climb up. And here's another Dieffenbachia. I'm really mindful not to overwater this one this time. I've overwatered a lot of Dieffenbachias. They actually hate water, just so you know. And the leaves are just so beautiful here. And back here there's a Calathea Zebrina that's doing really well, new leaf. And just for your information, all the Calatheas are in my forest floor potting mix, and they're thriving. I used to kill so many of them, and they are now rehabbed and they're doing well. There's some peace lilies here. They're my dad. Look how beautiful the leaves are. And here's the Calathea that I got this way. I got the 2 leaves. And then, yeah, I'm rehabbing this. And then this one is the new leaf that is appearing from down below. Here's a Begonia Brevirimosa. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I've killed many of these cuttings before because they don't ship very well, but this one seems to be doing okay, so I'm happy. This is a Aglaonema, I think Jaipong, Suksom, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Philodendron Marx behind. This is a Sansevieria or Dracena that I propagated by leaf cutting. That's the original leaf, and you can see here, there you go. And you can see the markers of where I marked which side up it is. Yeah, and actually it was variegated, but for variegated Sansevierias, when you propagate it by leaf cutting, it's going to give you non-variegated leaves. This is 1 year old, so this is a very slow-growing plant. Here's another Dieffenbachia. There's a Pothos Mandula, Epipremnum, and up here we have a Verrucosum. I actually just moved it here from my nursery area. That's how pretty this area is. It's not focusing. Okay, yeah, I love this area because of the texture and the I don't know, the layout is just quite nice. And this is a new leaf that is just unfurled, and this previous leaf is quite nice, and the ones before were actually in trouble. Like, I think this one was burnt, and some of them had bacteria issues. So verrucosums, really quickly about the care, is that they like humidity, but they actually don't like their leaves wet, and they're very prone to bacteria and fungus. I actually do spray this down with fungicide whenever I pass by it with neem oil and fungicide, and the new leaves are doing okay after I've been treating them. And they like medium light. Never give them any direct sunlight, not even morning direct. They can't take it. Look at the patio, it's so fuzzy. It's not focusing. And there's a new leaf already coming along the way, as you can see here, while this one hasn't even hardened yet. This opened like 2-3 days ago. So it's going to be a fast grower from here on. And as you can see, I have already prepared it for propagation. So I'm gonna have a pot from here. I'm gonna cut it off later. And next here we have the Alocasia amazonica. Let me see if it's putting out any new leaf. This is a very slow grower for me. I don't see any new leaf. This one just opened. It opens a new leaf every 3 months or so, which is quite slow. That's a Philodendron Burle. This one's a fast grower. This is actually a pretty big leaf for it. And there's a new one coming along the way. And this is going to probably climb up this area here and make its way up to the top. And so this area is actually going to be transformed over the years. I'm going to put some crazy plants here. And here's the, what do you call this? Words are escaping my mouth. Maranta Leuconeura. So yeah, it's growing pretty long. It's doing quite okay. I actually have a lot of these. I just keep separating them. So yeah, you can actually propagate this. You can just cut it off and cut like a node off, like right here. This is where the roots are going to come from. And so you want to cut below that and just stick it into the soil and it will propagate. Peperomia variegata. This is the Caladium that is an army. I don't know why the camera is not focusing well. And this Caladium actually likes direct sunlight. And by the way guys, this area has actually been getting some direct sunlight in the morning and in the evening when the sun is coming down from over there. So yeah, with changing seasons, the area does change quite a bit. So yeah, this is enjoying quite good light at this point. It's good, it's evening light, it's evening direct sunlight, but it's actually quite gentle because it's actually very, very filtered, as you can see from here. So the plants are really enjoying that. And here's a Calathea that I just bought. I don't remember this species ID. It was a little bit pricey, if I'm not wrong, and it's doing well. It's been here for about a month. I think it put out 1 leaf. Here's a Dracaena, Sansevieria, and this peace lily leaf is so beautiful. Look at this. Oh my god. We have a lot of these around the house. Here's that Begonia again. This is actually a cutting taken from this mama plant. Ta-da! It's so beautiful. The iridescence is just really gorgeous on the leaf. It's like blue, purple, greens, and reds. Super nice. But I think one of these pots was actually attacked by fungus before, so I lost quite a bit of plant material. So I've been spraying fungicide on the topsoil because the fungus would grow on the top of the soil. There's a Philodendron neon lemon, the more Calathea, and here's a Philodendron Makoyana, and this one's actually not really growing that much. I don't know why. It used to grow faster in my balcony, maybe because it likes a little bit more direct sunlight. And by direct sunlight, I don't mean full sun, I mean just some morning direct sunlight, but it's doing well, it's healthy. And here's the ZZ plant, it's one of my first few plants, but somehow this plant is not growing. It's such a slow grower. I actually have another ZZ plant that's putting out like it's got 1 leaf only in a pot and it put out 3 leaves at once. So something's going on with this guy, it's just not growing. Maybe I need to fertilize it a bit more. Here's a Philodendron Black Cardinal, it's doing well. There's a baby Peperomia Caperata here, and behind here there's a Philodendron Micans. They actually can take a little bit lower light and they seem quite happy. Yeah, and this is a Peperomia Caperata that I got from a recent cheap plant haul. And here is a here's a Begonia that actually was quite big and beautiful, and then I just cut it up into pieces. As you can see, it's growing new vines everywhere. And then this is one of the babies. And I have a lot of the babies in a nursery area. I have probably about 5 pots of these, and it's still growing new leaves. And when morning direct sunlight hits this plant, it glows into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful red. Camera cannot even pick up how beautiful the red is. So I really love this begonia. And there's another begonia here, and I feel like this one is the one of the variants that is grown more for its flowers. It's another cutting of the Sansevieria. As you can see, this is the original cutting, and that's the leaves. Here's a Calathea ornata that is doing really well. Some terracotta and forest floor mix. And I water all my Calatheas lightly every day, every morning. Sometimes if it's very hot and sunny out, and I know that because my dogs will be wagging their tails and their tongue would be out of their mouths, we know that it's a hot day. Then I would water this twice if it's a hot day. Here's a Rhaphidophora pertusa. It's actually got pretty big leaves. I got it very tiny and it was sold to me as a tetrasperma, but I'm really glad that the seller sold me this pertusa instead, because I didn't have one of these. And as you can see, it's actually growing into the crack and it's going to be growing upwards. So that's good. And this is another begonia and it's overdue for a propagation, actually. But it actually looks good right now. I wouldn't even mess with it yet. Maybe I'll wait a few more months. But all my plants are inevitably going to be propagated. Look at how baby leaves here. It's doing really, really well. And this is where I lose some subscribers because, ta-da, this is my orbifolia that I showed you about 2 months ago that it was doing really well. But hang in there, let me explain myself. So I didn't know what was wrong with this plant. It started declining. I was either underwatering and overwatering it, but all the other Calatheas are actually very, very happy. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And finally, one day I noticed that this whole thing, this clump of Calathea was actually out of the pot. It was stuck out of the pot. I don't know what happened. Maybe an animal dug it up, or I don't know what happened. So what I did was I just pushed it back in, and now it's back in the soil level, in the potting mix level. So I don't know, again, what happened, but for sure, this plant for a few weeks, it was not even rooted into the potting medium because something pulled it out of its pot. So just be careful. But I still have one leaf and I have a few more hopeful leaves coming up. With orbifolias, even if you kill them, you can cut off the whole foliage, back off watering, and the new growth will still appear from below. They're very resilient, so don't throw them away. Next to it is a Calathea Rufibarba and Barbara. This one I had for a long time. I got a new leaf. It struggled and declined and struggled and declined, but this is doing quite well. This is probably one of the older leaves. So the new leaves are actually doing quite well as I repotted it into my forest floor potting mix and terracotta, and I water it lightly every day. This is actually very, very fuzzy. I love to touch it. And here is a Calathea that's doing really well. I don't know the species, by the way. Calatheas are a species, plant family that I don't really know the plant ID, only because it's very confusing. There's many names for them. There's a Latin name, there's a common name, and then there's every region and calls them differently, and they're also similar. So forgive me if I don't know my Calathea IDs. They're just beautiful and I love to collect them. But yeah, I'm not gonna list all the Calathea IDs because I don't have them. Here's a peace lily. It's getting really big. I got this as a tiny plant. It's doing really well. It's happy here. Love peace lilies. They're so forgiving and easy. And then here is a Calathea. I believe this is a Fasciata. I'm not sure. Again, this is doing really well. This is the newest leaf and it's huge, huge leaf. So below here are some more Calatheas. This is a Kaempferia, and I'm so obsessed with Kaempferias lately. They're closely related to Calatheas. The leaves are thicker. They're more forgiving in the care. They grow way faster than Calatheas. They're just so beautiful, and oh my god, I can't get over it. And they do flower. There's this tiny purple flowers that come out from them. So look at that, nice. Yeah, and behind here is a Calathea rattlesnake, and here's the Tonanti. It's starting to revert because it's getting slightly lower light, but this leaf is so pretty big. Yeah, so the variegation is getting lost somehow, but I don't care as long as it's happy because I've been struggling with this plant before. Behind me is the Begonia Maculata. I actually took a lot of the top portion of this for cuttings, and they're living in separate pots, but it's doing quite well in here, and hopefully it will get even taller. Down below here we have the Calathea Black Lipstick, and this is I got as a tiny baby. It was so small, and now it's growing bigger and it's putting out leaf after leaf. It's happy in this new potting mix that I give it. This one is a little bit struggling. This is a Stromanthi Triostar baby. This Calathea is doing really well. It's very happy in here. Very, very gorgeous. This one's kind of getting lower light. Hang on, let me move things around for it. Yeah. But it's putting out a new leaf. Oh, I love watching Calatheas put out new leaves. It's just so pretty. And this is another adult plant of that black lipstick. Calathea black. This is considered a fast-growing one and pretty easy to take care of. It's got really beautiful coloring on the leaves. And back here we have another Calathea. I don't know the species, but again, it's putting out leaf after leaf. All of these Calatheas were actually dying back. In case you haven't seen my video from before, I explained that a lot of them had only 1 to 2 leaves left because I kept overwatering them. And ever since I moved them into my forest floor potting mix and terracotta pot, I water it lightly every day. They have just been thriving, and I don't really have to even worry about the soil potting mix moisture because I know that it's going to dry out within half a day. Here's a begonia, and it's doing so well. I was very happy. I got it as a tiny plant. I can't wait for this to take over. There's another begonia. This is an angel wing begonia. I'm not sure of the exact species. There's so many of these. It's a baby leaf. Hello. Hi. And moving down below, we have the Calathea Makoyana, and this one was struggling so bad. It only had a few leaves. But now, ever since I moved into this pot, potting mix has been putting out leaf after leaf. There's more unrolling, so I can't wait for this to become a huge bushy pot. There's a Philodendron Hederaceum, which is the regular green. Sorry, I'm wrong, sorry. This is actually a Brazil, sorry, as you can see here. However, I think this is reverted because I put it in low light. So your Brazils will revert if you put them in low light. Let me show you some Brazils that I put in direct sunlight. So these Brazils are living in direct sunlight, and as you can see, the difference is night and day. It's very, very different. They get more variegation. Okay, back to our tour. Here's another Calathea. This is a Calathea area basically. And here is some Scindapsus, and actually this whole area is littered with Scindapsus. They love it here. Look at this. Look at that. Wow. And hang on, let me bring you down from here. Like, whoa, look at that. And that's the pot over here. How wild, right? Very pretty. Ooh, and as we talk about Scindapsus, I forgot to mention this Scindapsus, I believe Silver Lady here, is trying to climb up that wall. So I'm letting it climb up. Very cute. Yeah, basically this area is full of trailing plants that are just taking over any negative space in there, and they can actually root into this medium. So I can actually propagate them easily later. I just cut the vines. Here's an Anthurium vegii, and I believe this is actually not the original, not the species. I believe this is a hybrid because I don't know. It just doesn't look like a vegii to me, but whatever it is, I will love you no matter what. And it's actually time to propagate it because look at that. It's asking to be propagated. Look at those fresh roots, how pretty. I can turn this easily into 3 plants, I think. So, and the leaves are actually getting bigger and bigger, and these are some, yes, flowers forming here. And it's putting out 1 leaf, and if I'm not wrong, hang on, let me see. Let me look around. Yeah, it's just putting out 1 leaf right now. Sometimes they put out more than 1 leaf at a time, but yeah, it's huge. So, but I'm gonna propagate it because of course I like to have duplicates of every plant. It's plant insurance. I may sell some of the cuttings, I'm not sure. But do not ask me if I'm selling my plants or not, because the answer is no. If I do sell them, I will announce it on my Instagram. And here's an Alocasia that I just got. This is very cute. Bunny ear Alocasia, if I'm not wrong. And there's another peace lily tucked back in here. Love how water droplets look on peace lilies, not water lilies. And here is a Calathea Concinna, which I really love. Look at the back. Oh my god, it's got a mosaic pattern on the back. Here's another Calathea that's doing really well. Hello. Yeah, oh my god, this is turning into a Calathea unfurling video. And here's the Maranta, and it's doing quite well. This leaf is just unfurled. Hello. Yeah, and more are coming along the way. They do like the flower. There's another one coming. They like the flower. This is a flower actually. And when I see this, because you can tell the difference, but this is going to be a sharp point. If it's a growing point, it's going to be like a cigar, it's like roll. So what I do when I see this, I just take it off because I don't want the plant to expand its energy on flowers. So I'm going to take that off. But yeah, so outdoors, this plant is in a very, very airy potting mix. They do like to be dried out a little bit. They cannot be overwatered in high humidity, but they like to be kept humid, but not wet, if you know what I mean. Not soggy wet, if you know what I mean. I can't stop staring at this. So I'm easily distracted. And above me here is a giant monstera. I remember putting it back there before, behind it, but it wasn't getting enough light, so I just decided to move it here. And I think it's doing well. The pole is just resting here, but the plant is not even going to be attaching to the moth pole anymore. It's attaching it right here. It's just going to be attaching to the wall, I think, eventually. So it's going to find its way up at some point. And then here we have the, what is this? This is the Syngonium albomarginata, Syngonium podophyllum. Look at how pretty, oh my gosh, the variegation is nice. But keep in mind, because some of these is in shaded, in lower light, they revert to green, which I don't mind either. So just kind of be careful. Let me see, this vine is actually reverting. Let me check, follow it. So this leaf is green. Let me see if the next leaf, oh, the next leaf, the variegation does return, so I'm not that worried. Yeah, there you go. I may actually put this kind of out here instead of tucked in there like this. Let it get a little bit more light. But yeah, as you can see, if you give it bright light, they can take direct sunlight as well. And I have actually many of these plants, so I don't mind it if this one reverts a little bit. And also I can cut this up into pieces and propagate it. So not really worried about the reversion. There's a Philodendron lemon lime back there. They can take low light. And here, of course, is the Philodendron Burle Marx that is getting big. It's going to hopefully climb up and just climb up to this corner over here and just take over. So yeah, let me quickly walk you through this area again. And let me take you back. Okay, maybe I'll do it slower this time, because maybe I went a little bit too fast before. So if you were visiting my home, this is what the walkthrough would look like. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm quite happy with the arrangements now compared to what it looked like before. Definitely. My dad's also very satisfied with this area because it's looking so much prettier than before. And I actually water this whole area lightly every day, so it's part of my morning routine. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy coming here and looking at all the new growths here. Look at this one. Yeah. So I actually want to give you guys sort of a bonus tour. Should I? Hang on, let me see. Because we have another area here. This is new, by the way. This wasn't here before. I just got so many plants that decided to just put plants around here. So this area is actually interesting. It gets some morning direct sunlight, and then it's medium indirect light all day long. So yeah, let me quickly walk through this area with you guys. Here's a peace lily, variegated, very beautiful. We have many of these. Here's that Philodendron Florida ghost that I showed you guys in my balcony tour. I had 4 cuttings stuck directly into a potting mix, and they have now grown. And a lot of you guys are asking if if the ghosts can become white in color or even mint. They do. If you put this in strong light and with some direct sunlight, it will give you white leaves, but it will always turn to green. So this is a little bit variegated. Yeah. And here's the Philodendron 98686, or I can't remember the number exactly. And yeah, I just put it here because my nursery area is getting pretty dark these days with the sun changing. I'm preparing it for propagation, and look at the pot. How befitting, because the leaves look like this. So here's a Ramusatia vivipara. I don't know how to pronounce it well, but it's a tuberous type plant, probably related to Alocasia. Here's a begonia that actually grew quite big, and I just cut it up to pieces and I stuck the cuttings back into the potting mix. So there's actually a few plants living in here. Now this one is putting out a new leaf. Oh, how pretty. I don't even have to do anything. So I literally just cut it and stuck it back into the potting mix. I have a few that is living in other pots, but this is going to become bushy in like a few months time. And here's a Caladium that I'm letting it go dormant. I'm putting it here away from direct sunlight, and I'm watering it less frequently to let it sleep and then wait a few months to grow it back again. Here's another Calathea. I just bought this cheap plant haul. And yeah, I bought quite a lot of these because I want many pots of this plant. It's just so beautiful, and they're very, very, very inexpensive. Here's a Biliatai that I'm going to probably repot again because it hasn't grown in a year. I repotted twice already. I don't know what's wrong with it. I may cut it up into many pieces just to see and just to propagate it all over again. Here's a Philodendron. I believe this is the Jungle Boogie. And Apischia back here. And here's actually a black pepper plant. It's the Piper family. And here we have a Kaempferia. This is my pride and joy. I bought it from a tiny plant and it grew so fast. Look at all these leaves. It's growing 6 leaves in one go, and the texture is just so beautiful. This is very, very underrated. And this plant, you guys, is so cheap and so beautiful. So if you can't keep Calatheas alive, this is definitely an option for you. This is a lot. Again, Kaempferias are leathery, not leathery, they're thicker leaves. They feel like snake skin almost. It's quite nice. So they can take lower humidity actually and a bit of abuse. Here's a, I believe this is a Dracaena, and that's a parent plant over there. It broke off from that plant. So we just took it and stuck it into a potting mix, and it's surviving, it's doing really well. And there's some plants here that are actually rehabbing, like this Dracaena here is rehabbing. Here's that other Calathea, I've got many of these. This is a reverted white fusion, they're doing really well. This is the Aglaonema Donacera, if I'm not wrong. Dieffenbachia reflector. Oh nice, look at the electric green. And here, this is so pretty. This is a Cordus. It does flower, and it's got these beautiful dark green leaves. And that one's actually got fungus attack a few days ago, so I sprayed it down with fungicide and hope for the best. There's a new branch coming down from below. This is so cute. I love this plant a lot. I believe this is the name of this plant is, hang on, let me see, Cordus erythrophilus, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and we have a lot of peace lilies here, and they're variegated. And my dad's obsessed with them, so he keeps buying them. Here's the flower, very, very cute. Hello. It's a fern, and this is an Dieffenbachia again. And this is a beautiful, I don't know, I forgot the name of this palm, but it is so nice. It can get huge. And we rehab this because we got it as a huge plant. Oh, it looks like a Yohji Yamamoto dress with please, please. If you're in fashion, you'll know what I mean. Very, very nice, pretty. And this can get really big, so I can't wait at all. And this can get really, really big, so I can't wait. And next up, we have more peace lilies. And here is a Philodendron Lynette. And I don't know what happened here. There's a leaf. And this broke off this morning, so I don't know who did this, but I think a pest maybe got to it. But that's okay because it's putting out new vines from here. I got a few pot of these actually. They're propagating away. Yeah, so I guess that concludes our tour for this section. I will give you more tours at some point because I have so many videos to put out for you guys. Yeah, so I hope that you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this tour. I will give you guys more update on this area. I'll probably put more crazier, like huge anthuriums and philodendrons up here because my collection is growing. As you can see, this Verrucosum could easily get much bigger than this. I've got some Ploumanii, but they're all still pretty small right now. So yeah, give me a few years, you guys. I will be updating you guys, but I'm very excited about this space. And I know that I already said bye to you guys a minute ago, so I'm gonna cut this outro short because I tend to babble on. I'm at Botanist on Instagram. If you wanna DM me on any questions regarding plant care and propagations, I'll try my best to get back to you. Meanwhile, do take care and stay safe. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.